All right, I'm going to do another video that, if you haven't, check out my previous one of the things I love. And these are the 5 things that I did not like about the Carnival Jubilee. A quick refresher, I love this class of ships. It's my favorite ships of all time. I like to be positive when talking about cruises because I rarely get to do it. But, you know, unfortunately, negativity does sell on YouTube. So you kind of have to throw in some negative stuff because everybody likes and watches and comments on those more than they do the positive. But, you know, so here are 5 things that I would have liked better. Number 1, I picked traditional dining over anytime dining because of the friendliness of it's non-existent. The friendliness for anytime dining. So I picked traditional. I picked late. I actually like late dining. Because it's about half the crowd size of the first one, and it allows you to eat, you know, beforehand. Eat at 6 o'clock. A lot of times you got to quit eating at like 3 o'clock or something. But anyway, we had the main dining room waiter. His name was Russ. He was the most unfriendly waiter I think I've ever had in anytime that all for the traditional dining. That is usually a strength, and he was just simply. It wasn't that he did a bad job. He was just unpersonable and just not friendly. We had some unusual circumstances during dinner. So normally I would have changed after the first day because I've been on enough cruises to know who's good and who's not instantly, pretty much. But my cousin skipped dinner the first night. A friend of mine ate with me one night. Then we did some of the other restaurants a couple of nights. So we didn't officially make the change until toward the end of the cruise. But the good news is Carnival was, when I went up to them, they quickly fixed it. They was apologetic. You know, I may have got the guy in trouble because he walked by me once. I felt like he was giving me a dirty look, and he asked the other waiter why I moved and stuff like that. But you know, so the lesson we learn, if you get a waiter you don't like and you do traditional dining, just go tell them and they'll change. It's one benefit of having the late dining room is that, you know, there was plenty of empty tables because, like I said, it was about 50% full. And it was just bad luck. I mean, even when we had this table, there was a couple of females that was around there and that was real friendly. That would have been, you know, if they would have just set me down with them to start, it would have been #1 highlight. And the guy they moved us to the last 2 nights was great, 10 out of 10 for him. You know, there was some confusion as well. Somebody was sitting at our table to start with. They sent me to another table. No, there was somebody in it and that kind of stuff. So it was just kind of a lot of confusion. But in the end, it did work out. But again, the guy was not very friendly at all. Number 2. Now this could be extended a little bit because we stayed a day in Houston afterwards, and that was the amount of Lyft rides, Lyft, Uber, whatever you want to call it. I use Lyft, but it's about a 40-minute drive or so from Houston Airport to Galveston. I think it costs $60 to $70. I think about $70. I think to go there, and it's just, you know. And then we stayed the night before, so you go to the hotel and you have to get one the next day. And this Lyft rides in general are annoying, even though nothing specifically bad happened. It's expensive and annoying, but you know that is, you do have a little bit longer of a drive than you would in some places. Number 3, I did have these separate, and I've decided to combine those to allow me another thing to talk about, and that is no pizza after 12. If you watched the other video, you said there was stuff going on past midnight. So because there was stuff going on past midnight, it would end after the pizza had closed. And so there was actually more, you know, on some of the other ships where things end a little earlier, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But on this specific stuff, where there's stuff going on past midnight, not having the pizza there was a negative. And the B part to that is the midnight buffet. Now, sometimes they had this at the Gas Big and Anchor, which I prefer that location because it's in the middle of everything and we don't have to take an elevator just to go to it. Sometimes they had it in the Lido deck, but the midnight buffet is pretty rough outside of cookies. The little chicken finger things are the best thing they have up there, but in general, they need to brush up, because it was universally everybody I talked to was saying how much better the pizza is compared to the midnight buffet. So they got a decent amount of options, but they need to bump up that. Number 4 is the app. I have slowly transformed over to using the app more. Me and my cousin did the Chap app back and forth. It's $5 for the whole week per person, so a no-brainer. So no more post-it notes and that kind of stuff. But the reason I put that there is that, and I met a friend that I hung out with during the week, so I would message her and she wouldn't get it because she didn't see the notifications. And like a couple times they give me the notifications, but the chat notifications do not pop up. So you kind of have to just manually be checking it, and that's annoying. There were times the app would quit, and then all of a sudden you'd get 20 notifications. So not getting the, most people aren't glued to their phone like they are back home, and I prefer, and I'm certainly am not either, but so I felt like I had to check my chat app and like manually refresh it so I would get the notification. So they still got some bugs to work out with that. I did not check, because we had traditional dining room, I did not check out. I did not know about the wait times. Like I know that previously that had been a problem. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to push the chat app, you gotta get the notification linked up. And, there were times I would, she would be like, "Oh man, I would have went to that, but I didn't see the notification." That kind of stuff. Number 5, Costa Maya. I pretty much hate Costa Maya's port. I'm officially ready to say that. And they was just so doggone busy. I mean, they were, previous time there was 5 ships. This time they were 4. So you got 2 options in Costa Maya. 1, stay on the ship, or 2, book an excursion. And the problem is, a couple of the good excursions I wanted were like 3-hour bus drives. And I'm certainly don't want to stay on bus drive for 3 hours. The adventurous water park I would have done. My cousin didn't want to, and I didn't want to do that by myself. I did hear there was a beach close by, so looking back, I probably should have did that. But feel like a little bit of a wasted day. As great as Cozumel is, Costa Maya is really lacking. Hopefully, after Work Ribbon buys that, they'll bump it up and make it a better. But yeah, those were 5 things that I did not like about the Carnival Jubilee. Feel free to yell at me and tell me how wrong I am, and let me know what yours are. Like and subscribe.